Are you going to watch the World Cup this year? You know what? I think with American global standing right now, we need to give up on soccer. You know what Trump should do is offer to change it to football if they help in the Strait of Hormuz. If you guys haven't seen, Trump is out there begging every country to send some Navy to help the Strait of Hormuz. And he's getting a lot of no's. Didn't he tell the UK didn't need their help? Yeah, he said that, and then he said he did need their help.
If we ever needed help, they won't be there for us. I've just known that for a long period of time. We have some that are really enthusiastic. They're coming already. This isn't need. Need would be one of the big boys. If we need their mine boats, or if we need anything, any piece of apparatus that they may have because of a situation that they have, they should be jumping to help us. We want them to come and help us with the Strait. My attitude is we don't need anybody. We're the strongest nation in the world. We have the strongest military by far in the world. We don't need them.
He also said if NATO doesn't help, we're going to have a bad time in NATO. Like it might be who knows how it'll go. He's like threatening. It's just, he's a true diplomatic bull in a china shop. That's like a kind way of putting it. But it is, I mean, being real, you know, if we want to so there's this moment, you guys know the UK, right? The UK was the dominant world power prior to World War I. They're the number one. They're the hegemon for 100 years before that. And then after the two world wars, they were severely diminished. They lost a ton of their overseas colonial interests. They were economically depleted. Financially, they'd taken on a ton of debt. So the financial center of gravity had moved from London to New York. And so quietly during this period, America kind of just happened. Like they were already a rising power, and then this is just sort of the moment it switched. But institutionally, like things take a while to be, you could say slowly all at once. You could say when everyone knows that everyone knows, like a common knowledge moment. There's still a feeling among most people who were adults at the time that like the UK was a major global power. That's just what it was. They won the war at the end of the day. This continued, and like no one tested it or challenged it until 1954 when we had the Suez Canal crisis. And the Suez Canal, I think there was Egypt tried to blockade the Suez Canal, and Britain said, fuck no, you can't. We need this trade. And they're going to do the classic British thing. We're going to send boats of soldiers and we're going to land in your country and we're going to make you do it. It was France and the UK, to be fair, but UK was the lead partner. I'm going to talk about the UK in this case because France was not considered a tier one hegemon. So they go in with his troops, and every other time in history, basically, they try this, it works. You know, this is a classic UK. And then in 1954, sort of the bigger dog, America, doesn't want this to happen and says no, and says, if you do that, we'll sell your debt. And at that exact moment, they had to back down. There's more complicated to this, but like there was an economic reason. America goes, we don't want this to happen. We have different interests, and we're gonna financially punish you if you do this. Once that happened, it was revealed that the UK's military power and their ability to enforce their, I don't know, economic laws was a paper tiger. It was fake. And that was the moment. It wasn't really the downfall until 1994. After this moment, there was no confidence in the same level in the UK's bonds, in their financial instruments. And at that moment, the transition was truly complete and everything moved to New York. And it was sort of a passing of the torch. And so there's a lot of parallels between the Suez crisis and what happened with the UK and what's possibly happening with the Hormuz Strait right now. Like what the US is doing is basically putting all its chips on black that it can open up Hormuz for for free passage of ships. It's saying we're gonna destroy all the Iranian military capabilities. We're going to set up a blockade or whatever. We're going to set up a naval escort, and we're going to make sure that you can travel to this thing. If it can't do it, if it ends up being an empty threat, well, all of a sudden that ruins like American military agreements in the Middle East with all these other Gulf state countries. It ruins people that own American debt and its ability to project its power and control economic straits. There's a very real shift here. Like this is a very important moment. It doesn't seem like it was thought through very well. Theoretically, stuff could happen, but what's the problem is like America is asking all these countries to join it in helping it open up the Strait of Hormuz right here, dude. This is the small little 20-mile fucking area. Like if they can't open this up and stop any drones and attacks from killing ships, it's kind of a big signal. It's a signal to all these people who have been investing in American debt and who have been partnership with American military. And the lead up to this is when you'd want to be treating your allies as best as possible, because there's really no way to do this alone. It's very, very expensive and time consuming. Now, everybody benefits from having this open. Everybody. Almost every country on earth would prefer this is open. So theoretically, they should be incentivized to send their ships and help. But the way this action has been carried out, with absolutely no attempt to get allies on board, no attempt to make this a multilateral thing, and constant like denigrating of allies, and they're not responding positively. They don't want to do it. I think the stories from today, Germany and the UK refuse to be drawn into wider war. Japan and France dismiss prospect of sending vessels. Like they're just not doing it. And again, Japan's probably our closest ally. They have, if you polled their citizens, they have one of the highest opinions of America of any country on earth. They're like one of the people that still have a positive, and they aren't doing it. Like nobody wants to do it. So it's seeming more and more like a Suez Canal moment that is very risky for America's status as like hegemon, which the UK sort of had before and then didn't after Suez. You hate to see your dogs turn into snakes. You do hate to see your dogs turn into snakes, but you'd hope your dog isn't constantly getting you into fights. If the Strait of Hormuz isn't available, why don't we get the Gay of Hormuz? Such a powerful idea. Very, very interesting theory. Present that to Trump. Maybe he'll do it. Where do you see the ceiling price of oil if the Strait doesn't open up for 2 months? The ceiling? If the Strait does not open for any tanker passage, and I mean any, like if some countries start getting through, it does lessen the pressure. 200 plus. I don't think more than that. I know it sounds crazy because I looked back at 78, like the Arab-Israeli war in 78 where OPEC embargoed. And that was when oil was even bigger part of the economy and they had 50% of the world's oil in the Middle East. Back then, oil hit like 187 a barrel, I think was the peak. Now, obviously inflation and everything, but I don't think we're getting above, I wouldn't say 300. I mean, that would be, here's the thing. Once you get above $200 a barrel oil, poor countries just stop buying. They just go without. Like it's not affordable at all. And then the political pressure is so extreme at $200 barrel in oil plus. People start working from home. Like the demand destruction is massive, which leads prices to fall anyway because there's just less demand. So I think it'll be very tough to break 200. But I will say, if we don't open the Strait in 2 months, we will get $200 barrel in oil. And the real crisis, this won't matter as much to America, so they're not gonna think about it, but the real crisis, this will be a lot of angry other countries, is in fertilizer. Because fertilizer is a huge chunk of the Strait of Hormuz. Food costs are about to skyrocket, especially in developing countries. Like India is gonna be really fucked on its growing season because of this fertilizer. Yeah, I mean, there's real problems with this, obviously. And what I'm saying is at this point, it is do or die for Trump to get the Strait open. You almost have to commit. Like you can't walk away anymore. I never wanted to be here. I've said in 15 videos now that I think this was a stupid idea, but actually you can't just like be like, all right, well, we won. Ayatollah's dead and walk away. Like if they can't get the Strait open, the chaos will spiral. So there's like a real need to like, maybe it's not Trump, maybe someone else needs to, like maybe it's fucking Rubio. They need to get out there and build a coalition. They need to apologize to allies. They need to, I mean, like that's what they have to do. I'm not kidding. Like the Strait needs to get open. This is priority number one in the world now. They need to walk some stuff back. I mean, they need to find a way to like, I don't know, do sanctions relief on Iran to get them to like, whatever method you have to do. And it's kind of tough because my understanding is the chain of command is really kind of breaking down on the Iranian side. They have different cells that are just doing things. The ability to like even have a person to negotiate with is not necessarily as existent. You think there's any good solution to the Iran's regime going for nukes? Listen, I'm not a magician here. I'm not going to tell you that I have some magic solution. I do think Iran with a nuke would be a bad thing. However, I do know that the way to solve it was not this. And the poor execution of this is one of the worst things. I think I'm able to like credibly steelman a lot of different ideas about the world. But one thing I have no tolerance for is dog shit execution. Because no matter what your ideals are, when the execution is sloppy and bad, the damage is severe. And one thing that's been really true of this presidency more than any other is the chaos. Just the chaos and the haphazard strategy and the backing down and there's no cohesive plan. That means no matter what your ideals are, even if they're different from mine, you don't get your goal, you don't get any goal, and everything starts to fall apart. Here's the thing. There was an Iranian nuclear deal under Obama. And while it sounds crazy, like, oh, they'll never follow the deal. the truth is that countries aren't just one united idea. The truth is there was a faction in Iran who was really open to the idea of being more aligned with the West, of getting more economically tied, of doing the nuclear deal to reduce sanctions. And that faction was gaining power during the deal. And then when the deal was thrown away, that faction lost power. They lost the ability to influence things. The idea that you can like use pure aggression and force kind of just hardens the people who are most hardliners. Because the people within Iran who are like, we can't do any deal with them, we have to fucking radicalize against them, those people gain power when you act the way they say they're gonna act. So I don't know, listen, it's complicated. I do think even if you were 100% committed to this idea, the way it could have been executed would have been 100 times better. It's just leaked over and over again that they weren't even prepared for Iran to be able to stop the Strait of Hormuz from flowing. They didn't expect that to be a reality. And that is just stupidity. Like, that is just dumb. That is just the fact that you didn't fill up our oil reservoir, talk to allies ahead of time, get a plan for keeping free passage is really stupid. Like, if you don't have those three things, don't go to war in fucking Iran. How does America always lose to undeveloped countries? It's because they don't have a clear idea of what victory is. The truth is, if you have a way better Air Force and intelligence, and then you can bomb the shit out of people. You can always win the conventional military war, but they don't ever seem to prepare for the fact that that's not nearly enough. You can win the battle, lose the war. You don't have a clear plan for what you want to get. And it's just obvious from the beginning. They didn't know what they wanted to get. Did they want to have regime change with boots on the ground? Did they want to have Iranians rise up and change the power? Did they want to have somebody new come in they could deal with, like Venezuela, who's in the same party? What was the goal? And once they had that, was like, how do they get them to stop doing nuclear? There's no real plan. And that means strategically you can bomb over and over and over and throw a bunch of money at it, but you have no wisdom. Do you think there's a chance he super tacos and tries to move on? Yes. I think there's a sincere chance that Trump in a week or within the next few weeks recognizes this is polling horrendously, that it's economically disastrous, and just walks away, just to be and just is like, wherever the war currently is, that's it. But the problem with that is, if you have not changed Iran's ability to choke the Strait of Hormuz, you're cooked. You've opened the Pandora's box. You've cooked. If they keep squeezing it, the economic problems are massive. And if they stop but threaten maybe just your ships or whatever, then you have to come back. Like it is now existential. Yeah. Just having no plan for Hormuz was truly stupid. I gotta be honest with you.